Hello, I'm Bridget Goodwin from Australia, and I'm here today to speak with you about the medicinal qualities of aromatic plants favoured by bees. I have a PhD in medical history of experimentation on human skin in wartime trials. I'm also a laser and dermal therapist. I'm certified in medicinal herbs and clinical aromatherapy, and I'm a registered beekeeper. I studied apitherapy with Dr Stefan Stangaciu of Romania, and I'm also president of the Australian APITHERAPY Association. This is me on my property, Oz Apitherapy Spa. I hope you come and visit me here soon. Because of my interest in herbal medicine, I applied for a license to grow industrial hemp on my property. This is me with my crop. And as I grow and learn much more, I hope to understand more about the applications of hemp and bee medicine together. For the past few years, I've also been working as a medicinal cannabis educator, and I run readyforcannabis.com, which was originally set up to help train Australian doctors, but now has many courses, including one for cannabis for beauty and skincare. Many of our traditional herbs have been used for centuries and are well known in folk medicine, from the time of the ancient Egyptians to the famous herbalist Nicholas Culpeper in the 1600s to the present day. Many aromatic flowering plants have been used as traditional medicine. But what's extremely interesting is that modern day determination to find evidence of the medicinal qualities of these plants is being backed up by science and leading to a deeper scientific understanding of the efficacy of these medicinal benefits. So effectively, what we've known for centuries is now being confirmed in the lab. In 2017, the World Health Organization called on member countries to explore innovative solutions to the issue of antibiotic resistance. Member countries were encouraged to search for alternative solutions in natural and indigenous medicines. This means many herbal medicines and bee products are being studied for their medicinal potential in the light of the threat from superbugs. We all know that bees love lavender, rosemary, thyme, fennel, helichrysum, Manuka, and more. But do we know that bees love cannabis? In fact, bees love cannabis, and recent research has proven this. We know that bees love to harvest the cannabis pollen, and recent research in 2021 has shown that the cannabis has a positive effect on the bees, encouraging their immune systems and their general good health. So this is quite fascinating research. For those of you who don't know, it was proven by scientists in Israel in the 1990s that we all have an endocannabinoid system. It was shown by scientists led by Professor Raphael Mechoulam that we have evolved with receptors throughout our bodies and our immune system that are responsive to the plant chemicals called cannabinoids that occur in the cannabis sativa plant. But they also occur in other plants, and I'll mention those later. These cannabinoids are known to balance our own internal system, which is what cannabis has now been proven to be so helpful for in many diseases like Alzheimer's, arthritis, asthma, PTSD, anxiety, sleep, and pain. This discovery has been followed by some exciting research that has many connections to the plant chemicals contained in bee-loving plants. And one of the reasons cannabis and bee medicines go so well together is they're naturally bioavailable to us through our endocannabinoid system. There are many phytochemicals in plants called terpenes. They occur in different plant species, and many individual terpenes are known to have medicinal qualities. The rapidly changing laws on medicinal cannabis have opened a floodgate of research into the medicinal qualities of these terpenes, and these studies are helping to reverse a century-old global ban on cannabis sativa. So now it's understood in the modern day to be a powerful plant medicine. The same terpenes that occur in cannabis and present in many fragrant medicinal plants, such as linalool in lavender, pinene in rosemary and pine, humulene in hops, and beta-caryophyllene in black pepper and others, actually recur in the plants that bees enjoy. I'd like to take a little wander through the notion of terpenes as they're currently being studied in cannabis. It may surprise you to see the same terpenes, aromatic phytochemicals, and flavonoids recurring in your favourite bee plants. We can also thank modern day cannabis researchers for shining a light on terpene studies. that have also aided interest in ancient herbal medicine and clinical aromatherapy, I want to show you recent studies on cannabis terpenes to demonstrate that many of the popular terpenes in cannabis recur throughout our study of aromatic bee plants. As you'll see, we can also thank recent research on medicinal cannabis to help us identify what's been right under our noses for centuries, with the same medicinal terpenes being present in bee-loving plants. So linalool terpene is also found in lavender, purple basil, and cannabis. And studies with cannabis containing these terpenes on Alzheimer's patients has actually shown some quite remarkable results. So the cannabis containing terpenes of linalool, alpha-pinene, beta-caryophyllene, flavonoids, and anthocyanins have a positive impact on brain health and cognition. The anthocyanins are the colourful pigments in plants that attract bees and possess anti-diabetic, anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, and anti-obesity effects, as well as prevention of cardiovascular diseases. Therefore, anthocyanins extracted from edible plants are potential pharmaceutical ingredients. The same research on Alzheimer's patients looked at the benefits of alpha-pinene, which is found in pine and fir trees, and also in cannabis. So this cannabis research on Alzheimer's patients found that alpha-pinene improved working and spatial memory, increased markers of acetylcholine synthesis in the cortex, and inhalation of alpha-pinene can also influence major neurotransmitter signaling in the brain. In the same research, beta-caryophyllene terpenes found in black pepper, cloves, and cannabis was found to improve cognitive deficits, increase the cerebral blood flow, and prevented oxidative stress in the cortex of rats, and improved neurological scores. The anthocyanins are the purple colour in plants, and extensive research of the purple cannabis have found that the flavonoids and anthocyanins, giving some chemovars their purple colour, also provide neuroprotective, anti-inflammatory, and pro-cognitive characteristics, and can pass the blood-brain barrier. Other sources are violet cauliflower, Thai purple basil, Japanese plums, and cherries. A post-antibiotic world is fast becoming a reality given the rapid emergence of pathogens that are resistant to current drugs. Therefore, there is an urgent need to discover new classes of potent antimicrobial agents with novel modes of action. Cannabis sativa is an herbaceous plant that has been used for millennia for medicinal and recreational purposes. Its bioactivity is largely due to the class of compounds known as cannabinoids. Recently, these natural products and their analogues have been screened for their antimicrobial properties. And there was a study in Melbourne University in 2020 exploring the antibiotic potential of cannabis. A similar study was carried out looking at the CBD and CBG, cannabidiol and cannabigerol in cannabis sativa. And it found that although CBD's effectiveness against neurological diseases has already been shown, there's less known about CBG. Therefore, a comparison of the effects of these compounds was performed in 2 experimental models, mimicking the oxidative stress and neurotoxicity occurring in neurological diseases. Pharmacologists from Turkey, Italy, Malaysia, and Iraq studied the antioxidant and neuroprotective abilities of CBD and CBG. So time through time varieties have been used for thousands of years as folk medicines in herbal teas, in cooking, and in medicinal treatments. They include treatments for anti-rheumatic, antiseptic, antispasmodic, antimicrobial, cardiac, carminative, diuretic, and expectorant actions. And when we look at the terpenes from time, we start to see the terpenes that we refer to in cannabis recurring. The thyme terpenes are shown to be eugenol, thymol, menthol, and these are the plant chemicals that are deemed to have the medicinal action in the bee-loving plants. Thymus algeriensis, or Algerian thyme, has also been explored for its antimicrobial, antibiotic activity. the chemical composition of thyme essential oil shows these terpenes to be quite active. And here we see carvacrol, myrcene, caryophyllene, limonene, and other terpenes that have been studied recently for cannabis. They're ever present in very ancient herbs such as thyme. Rosemary is another herb that bees love that's also been studied recently for its medicinal benefits, even for its positive impacts in the treatment and prevention of COVID-19. In Rosemary officinalis, it's been shown to help with the effects of respiratory distress, reducing oxidative stress, inflammation, muscle spasm, and also through anti-fibrotic properties. Carnosic acid is able to penetrate the blood-brain barrier and act against free radicals, ischemia, neurodegeneration in the brain, and it has cardioprotective effects, including correcting the lipid profile, controlling blood pressure by inhibition of ACE, prevention of atherosclerosis, and reduction of cardiac muscle hypertrophy. Here's a chemical composition of rosemary essential oil. And once again, we see the plant terpenes, alpha-pinene, alpha-caryophyllene, eucalyptol, camphor, limonene, myrcene. Once again, the terpenes that we know from recent cannabis medicinal research to be highly active medicinal plant compounds. One interesting thing too that I referred to earlier is that cannabinoids can occur in non-cannabis plants. And here we have a lovely picture of an Echinacea purpurea. We all know that Echinacea is a highly active immune stimulant plant that bees love. But cannabinoids have been shown to be also present in Helichrysum and Echinacea and other plant products. And also in, it's generally available that it's not known that these non-cannabis plants also have cannabinoids. Helichrysum italicum is a very interesting plant that's also known to have antimicrobial properties. It's a bee-loving flower, and it's also referred to as immortelle, which means long life, I think to do with its the dried flower, but it's also prized as an anti-aging chemical in cosmetics. This is the chemical composition of Helichrysum. Once again, we see the terpenes alpha-pinene, camphene, myrcene, terpenine, limonene in Helichrysum. This is an Australian Helichrysum, bracteatum, and another Australian Helichrysum, Helichrysum bright bikini, the Australian straw flower, once again, that bees love. So some Helichrysum health benefits include dental avulsion for tooth extraction, varicose veins, blood circulation, hematoma, for dark circles under the eyes, for the treatment of old and new scars, rosacea, type 1 and type 2 diabetes, cholesterol, muscular tension, wrinkles on the body, depression, hematoma, and other very interesting health benefits. Manuka is another very highly prized bee-attracting flower, largely occurring in Australia and New Zealand, Leptospermum scoparium. Manuka honey, made from bees collecting pollen from the Manuka plant, or Leptospermum scoparium, is famous around the world for its medicinal properties. Naturally, in Australia and New Zealand, the Manuka honey is tested according to the antibacterial potency related to the unique Manuka factor, UMF rating, linked to methylglyoxal and total phenol content. Different types of Manuka honey have differing effects, and gram-negative bacteria are known to be more resistant than gram-positive bacteria. Studies continue into its antimicrobial ability, and it's also reported to alter a bacterium's shape and size through septal ring alterations, which affect cell morphology and growth. Research has shown that the Manuka honey of different UMF values has medicinal properties of interest, and it can be beneficial when used in combination with other antimicrobial agents. Bees and fennel. Fennel is another aromatic flowering plant that is very attractive to bees. It's also highly medicinal. Perhaps the most impressive benefits of fennel and fennel seeds come from the antioxidants and potent plant compounds they contain. The essential oil of the plant has been shown to contain more than 87 volatile compounds, including the polyphenol antioxidants rosmarinic acid, chlorogenic acid, quercetin, potent anti-inflammatory agents that have powerful effects on your health. Studies suggest that people who follow diets rich in these antioxidants have a lower risk of chronic conditions like heart disease, obesity, cancer, neurological disease, and type 2 diabetes. Here's another chart showing the terpenes in fennel. Once again, alpha-pinene, beta-myrcene, limonene, and other terpenes that we've seen in other plants that are regarded or have been proven to be highly medicinal. Bees and salvia. Salvia altissima, skullcap, and Salvia mycorrhiza, red clover, are very well-known plants in herbal medicine. There are many different varieties of salvia or sage plants, all enjoyed by bees. Modern-day researchers have chronicled extraordinary benefits from some salvia varieties. These include encouraging apoptosis or cancer cell death in human prostate and cervical cancer cell lines, and also exhibiting hormonal influences on cancer cells, suggesting it has a potential to be used in hormonal therapy of prostate cancer. Salvia gregii, or Mexican sage, is also shown to have very important health benefits. And here's a chart showing the terpenes of Salvia officinalis, common sage. Once again, alpha-pinene, camphene, beta-pinene, cineol or eucalyptol, thujone, camphor, humulene. Eucalyptus and bees. Many flowering eucalyptus varieties exist in Australia and famously attract bees and enable bees to make honey with high cineol content. Cineol is highly medicinally prized and used in many medical treatments as an aromatic treatment for the respiratory system. In 2014, a Korean study found that inhaling cineol prior to, during, and after surgery greatly reduced patient anxiety. So that's my presentation for today. Once again, thank you so much for the invitation to speak to your conference. I look forward to when you come to visit me in Australia or when I can finally come to visit you. I'll leave you with my references. If anybody would like copies of these, please email me. They're most welcome to have them. As you can see, my study covered quite a few published scientific articles confirming what I've been conveying to you today. Thank you very much.